So another year has passed and another King's Speech has, well, been and gone. And of course it's now confined to the world of history. And when you look back, as I've often said here on the show, say at the late Queen's Christmas speeches, they were moving, weren't they? And you can remember who you were sat with and what you were doing on those particular days. Also, if you remember when you were young, they were more impacted because you normally sat with family or friends and everybody gathered round the television set, be it black and white or colour, to listen to what she'd said and what had happened for that year. Of course, a lot of criticism now online about His Majesty the King, his latest King's Speech, saying it was woke, he didn't do this. It's a difficult line, isn't it, to tread between the fine line of whether you offend or don't offend. Personally, I thought he touched on quite a few topics that were really relevant. And let's not forget, of course, he didn't offend anybody. Whether people think that, well, you know, as I say, you could pick holes in many different things. Wasn't it wonderful to see the Royal Guards literally starting off, of course, as well, the King's Speech? Didn't it look wonderful? All of those uniforms and the castle and everything else attributed to what is truly British life. That's what people think when they think of Britain. But for me, one of the most heartwarming moments of the King's Speech was this, and I knew this would happen the moment we saw them. Inner Voices Choir were, of course, one of the spectacular moments for me, singing a glorious rendition of Once in Royal David City, and it was superb. Now, what happens in a situation like this is there's some wonderful footage online, isn't there, of everything now, though, let's be honest. Everything has to be captured in the moment, doesn't it? But they were told, literally in rehearsals, when they were now going to be singing on this very special Christmas Day speech. And it just is wonderful to see those young people's faces knowing they would now become part of history. But here's the deal. You see, not only are they very successful independently, but now they've been offered other recording prospects, appearing at certain other events, interest from other countries, America wanting to interview them, other, as I say, major parts of the Commonwealth. It's opened up a brand, and a brand that will do very successfully if managed correctly. They have wonderful voices, they all look so enthused, and I was so nervous for the young girl, the soprano at the start, who had to start. I mean, it must be nerve-wracking. I don't know your name, sorry, but you're a lovely girl. I thought you were very brave to do that, because everything hinges on this poor lady getting that note right and starting in the right moment as everybody else joined in. So for all the people that criticised and had a go and said, oh yes, there's always good comes out of these royal associations. And the Inner Voices Choir, I really applaud them, and I genuinely hope, as I'm sure everybody does on this channel, all the very best for 2025. And going forward, you now have a crack at becoming international Inner Voices Choir. Grab it with both hands. It's a wonderful opportunity. And as I say, all the very best. And thank you for your wonderful singing on such a splendid, wonderful Christian day. Neil Sean, Kensington, London.